Hi, welcome to my channel, Perceptive Truth. My name is Jennifer, and I help you find your best health through astrology and other healing techniques because true health is a mind, body, soul connection. Thank you for joining me today. So, I wanted to share something that I saw that, excuse me, that I saw today, this morning when I got up. The first video, so I got up and, I start getting ready for the day and have to go to work and everything. And the first video that popped up on my YouTube channel was a horse running. And this video is like 3 years old, but I promise this is going to make sense here in a minute, but I wanted to share just a little snippet of this horse running, and then we'll get into what this means to me. And I want you to keep this visual. So after you watch it with me for just a minute, I want you to keep the visual of this horse running. So let me go ahead and play it real quick. So as you can tell, it's a horse that has escaped. It's a woman trying to catch up to the horse. She can't, obviously, because the horse is really fast. And then this biker um, kind of waves her down and tells her, "Hey, get on. We'll try and get your horse." And so let me just fast forward a little bit. Because I don't want to show. I'll link it down below if you want to watch the whole video. It's literally just a 3-minute video. But I just wanted to show you. Let's go ahead. Yeah, and it comes from the YouTube channel We Love Animals. So if you want to watch it, I'll link it down below too if you want to watch it. But all right. So let me go full screen. Okay. I wanted to share that um, because, okay, well, first of all, like I said, it was the first thing that, the first video that popped up on my feed this morning. And I was like, I don't know. I just watched it. And then I had this realization, and maybe you know where I'm getting at now. It was like a good visual to understand the energy that is coming in right now, uh, with the new Chinese year bringing in the fire horse. And I was like, oh man, I have to share I have to share this because as you can see, and just, like I said, keep the visual in your mind kind of while I'm going over like the Chinese New Year, and I'm also going to just mention the solar eclipse that's happening around the same time. And it's just to let you know, or to think about, that now that the new year is, or the new Chinese year is bringing in the horse energy, you can see in just that small snippet that I shared with you that horses are fast, horses are wild, horses just have a lot of energy. And then this horse year is a fire horse. So of course that mean oh, let me share the other. I wanted to share this with you just so you kind of understand um, what this means this year. So on February 17th of this year, 2026, uh, the Chinese New Year is changing over to the fire horse, and it signifies dynamic energy, freedom, passion, and forward momentum after the previous year's cleansing. Um, if you can see, the fire element amplifies the horse's traits of bravery, independence, hard work, making it a time for bold action, breakthroughs, and swift progress. And so I just wanted to say, like, right now, everything's changing in the world, in the United States. Here where we are in the United States, it's like, even though it's not until next month, I can just feel the energy and the visuals are coming in. That fire, that, well, it wasn't, the video wasn't a fire horse, it was just a video of the horse, but even that's coming in. And it's kind of like, if you pay attention to these things, like, you get like little spiritual clues of what's coming in. And I know right now, like, everything is just very chaotic. And that's because of other, like, astrological transits that we're going through. Um, and it's just, this energy is bringing in new, bold energy. And I just wanted to say, like, with Pluto in Aquarius, because I practice whole sign traditional Western astrology, kind of in the sense of Hellenistic astrology or traditional astrology. And so, you know, and some modern techniques too, because even though in traditional astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but in modern astrology, it's also ruled by Uranus. So it's just to show, like, we are having to take bold action now, because the energy is coming in quick, it's coming in fast, it's coming in hot, and there's no escaping it. It is what it is. And I wanted to share that little video with you because that's the video I saw this morning, and it made me think kind of all day. This horse energy is going to make the move. It's coming in quick. And so I also wanted to share, let's see here. Here we go. So you can see my cursor. Let me see if I got February 17th. And then, so, once you know that on February 17th of this year, 2026, we will have a new moon at the 28th degree of Aquarius, which is also, if you can see here, a solar eclipse. So not only is that fast horse energy, fire horse energy coming in, in a totally different modality, the energy is also coming in with the solar eclipse. And usually, like, around eclipse time, you start to see clues of what's coming and how crazy it can be. And eclipses are like I've heard other astrologers say it's like a new moon on steroids. And I have to say I agree with that because uh, eclipses bring on energy very strong, especially like solar eclipses. So there's a saying where solar eclipses are kind of like, because it's ruled by the sun, that eclipse, um, it kind of has to go with like leaders, um, you know, bosses, or that kind of energy that is like over people. And so, you know, we all know who the leader is right now in the United States. So that's something to consider. And also, eclipses, it kind of brings it ushers in, and because this is a new, sorry, I didn't mention this earlier, but we have been having our eclipses in Pisces and Virgo, and now they're switching to Aquarius and Leo. And so it's also bringing in that new energy, which is kind of crazy. And so it's just what do we expect around this time? And because it's in Aquarius, we also have, if you see right here, Pluto is at 4 degrees in Aquarius, and we're also going through that, which is also the energy of power in the people's hand. Eclipse in Aquarius, which is in like the people. It's it's no longer in where, like, when it was in Leo, is probably more to do with like a father figure or um, a leader figure, because Leo kind of represents like leaders because it's ruled by the sun. But now it's opposite. And we're getting out of Pisces, going up here. And so don't pay attention to the houses in here, anyways. This is just a chart that I made. So the houses don't mean anything right here. The houses only mean something more like in your individual chart. Um, but anywho, yeah, it's gonna be bringing in more energy, as far as maybe I've been also listening to other people talk, and it's kind of crazy, but people have been talking about, is this time for a revolution? Is it time for a civil war? And the energy is calling for it. And also, one thing I wanted to share as well is, if you see this new moon right here, the solar eclipse that's going to be happening is also square Uranus, which is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And right now it's in Taurus, fixing to go into Gemini. And that's like a whole nother talk. But, you know, uh, Uranus and Gemini for the United States usually, I don't want to say usually, it just, in the past, it has meant wartime. So, I mean, this is all just kind of showing what's coming in fast, what's coming in hard, hot. But it's also like I just read about the Chinese New Year with the fire horse. It also brings bravery. Let me switch back to that so we can kind of see it again. Bold action, hard work, independence, bravery, breakthroughs, swift progress, freedom. And it just makes sense with everything we're experiencing right now. Let's see. And I also wanted to share, once again, okay, this chart shows right here, and you can see my cursor kind of going, 0 degrees Aries, 45 seconds. Saturn and Neptune conjoining in Aries, which again is also bringing in a new, like, energy, a new template of change. with Neptune being, it was in Pisces, now it's in Neptune. And then Saturn, of course, takes about 2 years. It went back, it went through Pisces, went back, and then it's going to be coming in. Let me see, I wanted to share the dates with you. So Neptune enters Aries, I believe is that next week already? Today's the 14th. Um, I think is it? No, it's like in like 2 weeks from now. And I'm recording on January 14th, 2026. Um, so Neptune goes into Aries on the 26th. And then if you see here, Saturn will fully go in on February 13th. So it's just a little bit before the Chinese New Year and the solar eclipse. So these are all things like, and then, oops. As you can see, Neptune and Saturn right there getting into Aries. And it's ushering, like I said, it's ushering in that new energy. Neptune, of course, again, represents, he represents like fantasy or spirituality, where you wear rose-colored glasses, but also, I like to say, where your magic lies. So what is the new magic we're going to be experiencing right here? And then Saturn, of course, means structure, boundaries, responsibility. So now things are starting to get real, and we can't fake things anymore. Neptune and Pisces was at home, and for the longest time, like, everything was very, you know, like fantasy. And, you know, for a while there, we're like, what's real? What's not real? You know, it's just, and we're changing now to Aries, where things are going to be very real, very bold. That's it. Along with the Chinese New Year horse energy of boldness, so is Aries, bringing in that. So in tropical Western astrology, we follow the seasons, and Aries is a cardinal sign. It brings in springtime. And what do we think when we think of springtime? It's bold. It's new. It's, you're going from winter, where it's very maybe solemn, kind of very cold. Um, you know, there's always like the depression of winter and everything. And then now the sunshine, and ready for a whole new energy to come in. And, Neptune's going to be there for quite a bit of time. And one other thing that I wanted to share real quick is I had made some videos last year talking a little bit about Neptune, because I really like the energy of Neptune. He's very interesting to me, and he's actually in my first house on my Mercury. So, it's been interesting getting to know this energy and understanding it, which, sometimes with Neptune you don't really quite understand it. But in those videos that I had mentioned before, in Roman and Greek, so Neptune is Roman, and then Poseidon is Greek. But in both of those mythologies, Neptune was the god and creator of horses. And I was like, when I was looking at the Chinese New Year, because I knew it was going to be a fire horse, and then I was like, oh man, oh my god, like, Neptune's like the ruler of horses, and it's also changing into Aries. Like, it's all just like fitting in like perfectly. Uh, but I was gonna read this to you really quick. So Neptune was the god of the sea, earthquakes, horses, And Neptune was specifically known as Neptunus Equester, patron of horsemanship and horse racing. Um, if you go down here, it just kind of Neptune was worshipped as Neptunus Equester, a deity associated with horses, horse breeding, equestrian sports like chariot racing. And then in Greek, Poseidon was also the creator or the origin of the horse, and his connection to these animals was fundamental to his power. And then it kind of goes on to other things, and put, if you find it interesting, I will put those videos at the end of this video so you can click on them and learn a little bit more of the history that I went into about Neptune and Neptune going into Aries this year, and how it's really going to be changing everything for us. It's yeah, so I just I wanted to come on here to say, like, you know, be ready, get ready. It's it's going to be a whole new paradigm, and like I've said before, like it's kind of scary, and but it's also it's it's exciting too, because I don't know if you're like me. I am so ready for a new energy to come in, and I don't really know what it can bring other than like thinking of or looking at the past and the history to see how things have changed from before until now. Things Other things that have happened before, and Neptune and Aries also kind of representing time and war. Aries representing war or aggression, but also boldness and new cardinal energy is just cardinal energy kind of represents uh, um, starting new like endeavors, and you know it, it's it's really interesting. And I also wanted to mention too, is you know I like to talk about spirituality and the boldness. Sorry, not the boldness of it. Well, maybe it will be bold now, but spirituality, Neptune, and we are coming out of a really spiritual time where maybe we have gotten closer to understanding more spiritual things in life, in our own lives. And maybe we've gotten closer to understanding the universe, or having ways of, like, I can be honest with you, like, it it has taken quite a few years, but I I am much closer to my guides now. I can speak to my guides or see when they're sending me messages. And when I was younger, that was not a thing. Like, I had so much difficulty accessing that part of me, which is kind of funny, like I mentioned earlier, like Neptune being in my first house, you would think like I could have really harnessed that. And for reasons I'll share in other time, because it's a longer story. But excuse me. Yeah, so it's just, I know right now, for us spiritual people, it's hard. It's hard seeing, you know, death, and it's been really hard on me, and I'm sure if you are like me, it's been really hard on you as well. And I have had to use, my herbal allies to help my nervous system calm down. And you know, with all this talk right now of like revolution, you know, new new bold energy, but maybe this time we as a people, because, Aquarius representing the masses rather than just like the 1%. Maybe we are finally getting to a place where we will, stand up for ourselves. Um, and there's also another thing that I am fixing. Well, I've been working on a video for intuition, because I really feel like, now with AI as well, kind of coming in, and that now there's like AI psychosis and everything. But I really wanted to. Well, I'm going to be putting out a video soon about intuition, like what it is, what it isn't, how do we listen to our intuition. And I think that's going to be really, really, really important now that we're coming into Neptune and Aries, because, Pluto and Aquarius has really brought in like that part of Aquarius that's, out there, like AI, who knows what other things, but like really, really interesting technology. And I guess my focus is that I don't want anybody, and I don't want us to forget that we're still human beings and we still live on Earth, and we still need to like contact that part of ourselves that helps us listen to the universe, or however you want to call it, to God or whatever. So I will be putting a video out soon that kind of touches and talks about intuition and some techniques on, ways to um, um, interact with your intuition better if you have a hard time with it. And I can explain a little bit more in that video, like my issues with intuition and stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to share today. It was really, it was just really interesting waking up this morning and seeing that video, and you know, kind of everything's tracking right now. Everything's coming in fast, and just want to let you know again, like, you're not alone. This time has been kind of hard, and you know, we'll get through it together. So, anyways, I ask that you please like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel if you like my content. And I thank you so much for being here and for listening to me. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Love you. Bye.